evening, everyone. Wendy here from Nourish and Flow, and this live on Instagram is all about style and body confidence. I am absolutely delighted to be joined by Sharon Huggard this evening. Sharon is a style and body confidence coach, and she is going to be joining us at Nourish and Flow this year. So I'm going to let Sharon in now. One moment. Here we go. Hello.
Hear me and see me and everything.
Gorgeous lady, I can see you perfectly.
Oh my god, I said I must sort myself out. I'm very low or something. Am I?
I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, okay, fabulous. How are you?
I'm
Good
good.
evening, everybody. I hope it's sunny where you are.
I know, we're having such a treat, aren't we, with these couple of days of sunshine? It's like we've won the lotto. Like the strangers hugging strangers just because we're so happy because the sun is shining.
I know. I was away for the weekend and I was in Killarney and it was a different world and people were like, we were starved of it, and that was the kind of sense it was we were starved.
Starved is exactly the right word, 100%. We were very fortunate to be over in Carrick-on-Shannon with my sister celebrating her 50th birthday party. Right on the water, so we ended up getting a little boat for the day, and 15 of us headed out onto the water. It was only for an hour, but it really felt like it was badly needed for the soul to recharge the battery.
Yeah. I think everything seems possible, or you know, when the sun shines. I think it just lifts. It just gives you a boost, and it lifts you.
Yeah, 100%.
So Sharon, we're putting out there. It's going to be lovely and sunny.
This is the start of the manifesting for August, 100%. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. Bring it on.
Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm delighted to have you on.
I know, it's so fabulous. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So just for the viewers, I just wanted to introduce you. So Sharon is a style and body confidence coach and has been working with women for the past 12 years to help them with all things style and body confidence. And I feel you're really unique in your area of expertise because not only are you a qualified style coach, but you're also a life coach, an NLP practitioner, a QTT practitioner, which I don't even know what that is. And you've just qualified as a certified body confidence and well-being coach. So it would be fair to say that your heart is so invested in what you do to help women through this, I suppose, do we want to say the word battle, but through this awkward stage in their lives when they struggle with body confidence and style issues. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so delighted to have you at Nourish and Flow and here to talk to us this evening.
Thank you. Yeah, like I suppose it's the whole, it's everything. Do you know what I mean? Like before, just a very brief, and I could, you know, I won't give you my resume for bathroom, but very briefly, I was working in the financial services industry. I was in Dublin. I was back then in Cork. I worked in the financial service sector in the life and pension side of things. And then we had 3 children under 3.5. And I was going to say I stopped work, but I actually, that's when I started working. But I took time out of the corporate world to, you know, mind the 3 of them. I'd always kind of said, you know, we'd have 1 going to school before we had the 3rd, but it didn't quite happen like that. So I had 3 under 3.5 at home. And it just wasn't, it wasn't practical. And you know, I just didn't have a setup that I would be able to, you know, to manage to go out to work and to have the 3 of them in childcare. So I took, you know, I finished up in the corporate world, and there was a little bit of kind of like, who am I? And I knew who I was in work, and it was kind of like, and I knew how to dress. Usually, I knew like I worked in the Mall in Cork, and so it was very much, you know, you put on your clothes, and then you become Sharon, you know, financial service, you know, and it was, and then I was at home, I say, with three kids out of 3.5. And yeah, I wouldn't say I kind of lost myself. There was definitely a kind of, oh, who am I now? And I'm some, you know, I was introducing myself as somebody's mom, and you know, the dog, even the dogs, mother. And it wasn't that I longed for work. You know, it wasn't that I was craving, but it was just kind of a little bit of, you know, who am I, and even how I dressed changed. But I still to this day don't know how I was reading a magazine or I had time to read it, but I did see in a magazine Ireland's Next Top Stylist. Bearing in mind, I'd never worked in retail. I'd never, you know, but I had this thing that I still was who I was. I just had, I suppose for me, I've always associated style with kind of that transformation of, like when I was younger, my mom and dad used to go to dinner dances, they were called.
Oh,
And they'd go out to that, and I could see my mom like transform, or my dad putting on, you know, the tux, the suit, or whatever, and transforming. And I always kind of, I suppose, had this kind of romantic love affair with using clothes as a tool to kind of not fake it, you know, like, but it just
yeah.
definitely that you kind of had this kind of, oh my God, you could be a different person, you could step into being, you know, being, and like for me, I suppose, when you're younger, your mom is your mom, and the next, you know, not only your mom, they're very important to you, but I'm just saying, she was like my mom, and the next thing she was like, oh my God, she was, you know,
Yeah.
really glamorous,
Yeah.
and so I could see that you could use style as a tool to do that. So fast forward, I did win Ireland's Next Top Stylist, and I was training with a stylist in Dublin, and I, you know, and what happened at the end of that was I was like, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do, this is what I absolutely want to empower women through style. And I set up my own business called Style for You at the time. And but that stylist, and again, now I know the work I've done, it's the meaning that we attach to it. I'm taking that at face value. She, you know, she didn't mean, but she was like, you need to do something different. You need to be a bit more unique. You need to be your, and I just went, oh my God, I'm too ordinary. Who do I think I am? A mom of 3 small kids at home who never worked in a shop, never even think she's a stylist. So being honest, I had kind of set myself up for failure in that
Okay.
business.
So it was the stylist that said this comment to you, who was in the Next Top Stylist competition. You had won the competition.
She was a mentor to me.
She was a
And again,
mentor.
I don't think it was anything intentional.
No,
It was
yeah.
just,
But sometimes it just takes one sentence, doesn't it, to knock you off your kilter.
and like, I know now that if I didn't think that, it wouldn't have been able to have any power over me. But it was obviously, it was mirroring my own thoughts.
Okay.
And, you know, that I needed to have something different, the stripe in the hair, the big glasses, or, you know, who, but I suppose, so then anyway, I had my business and I only gave it a year. I just felt such an imposter in this world. I preferred to be in Lepp or Longford than London or Milan at fashion shows. Usually I was kind of about, I was empowering women, you know, and I won't say real women because I don't like that. I think every woman is a real woman with what she decides and what she chooses, whether, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I was asked to work as a fashion stylist and buyer in a local boutique that was setting up here. And I'm not going to lie, I ran in there, but I was hiding. But as it turned out, it was actually one of the best things. I got to dress thousands and thousands and thousands of women in it that I never would have had the opportunity to dress. And I was always trying to educate them as to why something suited them. But the one thing I noticed in the changing rooms was I was able to say to, you know, Janet, that's amazing on you, you look incredible, and this is why it worked, you know what I mean, this is why. But like, if she didn't believe it, nothing had changed. She was dressed for the day, she was dressed for the wedding, she was dressed for the graduation at the communion, whatever, but nothing had actually changed. So that's when I remember going, okay, it's not matching. You know what I mean? Something's missed. There's a misalignment. Yes, I felt like putting the dress on, while I can understand the value, and she felt amazing that day, but it was like putting a plaster on a broken leg.
Yeah.
So that's when I went down the road of, you know, working with becoming kind of merging personal development, the inside and the outside. And that to me is kind of where the magic happens. And yeah, so obviously then when I was made redundant in Interest, and I just went, you know what, the gnawing never left me. And I said, I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it, but this time I'm going to do it as me, and knowing that I am enough. And that's the work, I suppose, now that I do help people, women, because I've never met a woman that isn't incredible. She might know it, but she might need a little bit of help to see it herself. But I've never met a woman that isn't amazing.
Amazing. Oh, well done you, and well done you for seeing that the, you know, on the surface, yes, you know, you look nice in that dress on that time, but you're not feeling it in the soul and in the heart. And you know, that's really where it has to resonate, and that's where so many people struggle. And it's such an amazing business that you've built to help women with this challenge, because it is a challenge. I've had the challenge myself. I know you and I have had talks. I have been threatening to contact Sharon and have a one-on-one for like the last 3 months, and I still haven't done it yet. Sorry, Sharon. It's my fault, but that's me procrastinating with change. It's me procrastinating with looking in the wardrobe, freaking the hell out because nothing fits anymore. What's happening to my body? I don't like it. I don't want anyone to see it. I don't want to
Yeah.
see it. I don't want to buy clothes for it
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
you know, and it's almost like it's not me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I
And
do, like, I think there
yeah,
is that.
it's an emotional roller
It is.
coaster.
It is. It is. And I suppose that's why I find I'm uniquely in a position to help women because, first of all, you know, and then I went on and the quantum thinking transformations is really, really powerful with it as well. And on the day you get to see these beautiful, beautiful, really beautiful tools. You know, and I will bring women through that. But it's just, it's, as you say, it is a mindful, like, and there is, I suppose, for decades I measured my self-worth on the scales without a doubt. It was just, I never had a figure I wanted to get to, but I just always knew I was too much, you know, as in I weighed too much. And when I got to that point, that's when everything would kind of happen for me. And so I was always very conscious about, you know, about like, and there is, we are assailed with information, and like there's a huge, okay, we can kind of say, oh, you know, but we are assailed with information, and we're assailed with the, you know, the generations of, I was talking to friends when I was away at the weekend, and I said, like, do you remember the ad for Special K? And the husband is sitting outside reading his newspaper in the sunshine, and his wife, dutiful wife, comes out with his bowl of Special K in the morning. And then he literally, as she's serving it to him, he catches her and says, oh, pinch more than an inch. I'm like, oh my God, I know where he'd get his Special K, but anyway. But I kind of, these are all the messages and in the marketing that we've been fed. And I was just actually, just before I came on, I saw something and I just had to write it down. It was 1 in 3, one in 3, it's a Dove report, Dove's newest report that's out. It's 1 in 3 women or girls reported that they altered their images now, even though they knew that other images that were out there were AI generated. They still wanted to alter their image. And this now, by 2026, 90% of the images on social media will be AI generated.
Jamie, we won't know what's like. We
Real
won't
and
know
what's not.
ourselves. Literally, we
Yeah.
won't know ourselves.
Yeah. And I think that's as well why I did create a campaign, Getting the Picture. And it's about getting into the picture, knowing that you are enough as you are. And now it's never been, when I read that, I literally, the hairs kind of literally stood up, and I went, it's never even been more important to show what's as in not real, as in like, you know, real woman, as in what is real and what is not. It's just, I just kind of went, oh my God. It's just,
no.
And the more we see it, the more you know, it's just the more important it is to see you know, as in like, you know,
the real people,
you know, all the things, the bags under the eyes.
I was actually doing an Instagram live earlier on to figure out how to work it, and then the video that came out of the practice was just this, and I'm like, oh my God, delete it. It was like, I have no neck.
It's really important. I mean, never more than ever when I read that today. I'm only just after digesting that information. And it's for us and for our daughters, you know, our son, you know, me and sons. But really, it's really important to do. And I call it work, but it's not. It's just kind of, I suppose, because you are fighting generations. It's not like, I mean, I have done the work. I'm at my heaviest now than, you know, I'm not boasting about it, but it's just the truth. But it's the meaning that I attach to it. I could be all boo-hoo me, and yes, it's not like I'm not deluded. I look at myself in the mirror and I see my thighs and I see my belly. But I'm working hard to not make it mean anything about me, or not that it's not the most important thing about me, so that my daughter will not know that it's not the most important thing about her. Like when I see and I talk to women, I genuinely don't see it. Like, I kind of go, oh my God, they're an amazing mom, they're an amazing businesswoman, they're they're just amazing. I just think women are amazing.
The funny thing is, most people don't see anything other than the amazing person in front of them. It's all comes from within, and the narrative that we have going on in our own minds. and maybe the thing that was said or the thing that was done or whatever happened to trigger this massive insecurity, or you know, that's there, it's deep down there within, and you know, to be able to uncover that and get peace with that, so you can go on and live your life peacefully instead of having this thing in your head the whole time, which is exhausting. Listening to it
really is exhausting.
It's a gift to be able to get there, and you know, I'd love to be able to get there myself, but it's sometimes it seems, I think it's because, you know, I find with myself, I feel good, right? I feel good, I feel healthy, I'm not on any medication, thank God, and you know, I feel good, do you know what I mean? Good energy, I sleep all night, etc., etc. But then I just feel when I look at myself, I don't like what I see. I don't like the reflection because it's not how I used to look.
Yeah.
And I'm almost mourning the loss of how I used to look.
I kind of say that if you're grieving for, and I know that's not being disrespectful for anybody that has kind of, but there is a sense of grieving for, you know, your old body, even your own you. I even said it to my friends at the weekend. It's just funny that I was away with my friends at the weekend, and I just kind of said, you know, my children, like they're 20, 18 and 17 now, so they're not children, and my husband goes, they're not children, and I kind of go, they're still my babies, but like, I kind of go, they're getting the worst of me, and this is the time they remember.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I used to be so nice. But there is that kind of grief.
I was so cool.
It's like, yeah, I used to be a nice person. Remember back when you were 4. So I mean, there is, and it's, but you can, like, I suppose, you know, the whole thing, it's not all doom and gloom, which is, you know, what the whole beautiful program is about. Is that, you know, it's, I'm not saying that, you know, you kind of you can just shake magic wand or whatever, but that's what I find exciting about. Like, I suppose that's when I work with women, that's what I find exciting. That's what I find about even myself. I always thought the way you were was the way that you'd always have to be, or the way you thought was always the way you would have to think. And what I find so exciting now is we can actually reinvent ourselves, and it's just such an exciting and liberating time. And I'm not down with the whole, I mean, literally I'm going through, you know, I'm going through menopause, believe me. And I'm very cranky, and my husband is saying, I think you were always kind of a bit cranky. But it's definitely on steroids. I'm going through it, so it's not as if I'm kind of immune to it, I'm not. But I still get excited about what it means. You know, I'm not going to go down kind of going, oh God, boo-hoo, this is the last. I'm kind of going, how, you know, yes, you have to look after yourself mentally, physically, and there's so many facets of it, I suppose, that is kind of challenging, because so many aspects of your life, you know, the changing body. People might not even put on weight, but their body shape changes dramatically. The weight distribution. Then there is people that put on weight, and then you're squeezed. You've got maybe teenagers, or some people I know have young kids. You know, there's still young kids that are going through perimenopause. Then you might have elderly parents that, you know, that are a sick spouse. You know, there's a sick child. You know, there's a lot of things going on. But I do like that we can I know I gave away my power before. I know it was kind of like, oh, poor me, boo, over here. But I kind of went, you know what? I choose. I get to decide. And it's not that it's automatic. It's not that it's easy. But I think it's exciting that we can get to decide, and we get to choose. So I
think you're right. Yeah, and I think when I finally came to the shocking realization that menopause was going to happen, whether I liked it or not, in huge denial, and that some of the symptoms that I was seeing happening was, you know, possibly because of perimenopause and things like that. I just feel that when I looked into it initially, I was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I don't want to go through this. This is meant to be horrific. And for some women, they can have an awful lot of symptoms that are, you know, difficult to manage. But then for others, there isn't so much. But there is definitely that psychological thing for me of, oh my God, is this the end? Is this it? Is this it? Until I start reading some other books where they kind of reframe the journey as, no, this is the cusp. This is where you now can soar, and you can take off, and you can be who you want to be, and no is an absolute full sentence, and you can just, you know, take over your own life and move on. And you're right, there is sandwich years, I think Catherine likes to call it, where you've got, you know, kids on one side and maybe parents on the other, and you're working, and there's a lot going on. But I think we do need to take the time to prioritize ourselves. And
completely, yeah. And it is like, it's a holistic approach. It's kind of, as I say, it's everything, but it's like important to get medical help as well. Like, it's very hard to soar if you're physically or mentally struggling. So it's not a, you know, it's not, I'm not saying it's easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I just think all the little things, and just to be compassionate and just to be gentle with yourself, because as I said, there's so many facets, and I kind of go, okay, my nutrition isn't great, I'm not moving as much as I should be, I'm not, and then you're watching all these people, you know, drinking and doing and having all the supplements, and I'm not doing any of that. Oh my God, I'm destined to be this kind thing forever.
I know.
It's like, we're doing enough. You know,
I know we are, and we're doing our best. I think this is the main thing, is that we're doing our best. Most people are doing their best, and to get on and to get by. And definitely with the concept for Nourish and Flow is that I want to create something where every woman is welcome, no matter what. I am like, everyone gets a seat, no one's going to sit on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Just to make sure that everyone feels comfortable, because I think sometimes as well, as you said, you feel like you're not doing enough in the wellness world, or you're not good enough, or whatever, and that's not what we want to create. We want to create a gorgeous, welcoming space where you can bring everyone and anyone together and know that we're all doing our best just to get by and get through and have the crack, and hopefully after the weekend come out with some tools to help soar and help us go through this next phase of our life, you know, on with wings.
I know it is. And it is, even when you're funny, when you're talking about, like, that's a warp to this. It's like, we're not doing wellness right, or we're not doing relaxing right.
I trained as a nutritional therapist. I did 4 full years of nutritional therapy and came out the other side thinking, I love it, nutrition is bloody deadly. And I was on a path, and then COVID hit and all sorts of things happened, and I ended up not going down that road, but instead sticking in my day job, which over COVID obviously meant I was kind of stuck at my desk for a solid 8 hours a day. We work in a communications company, so it was crazy. Then we also have our glamping company, so the stress of all that came, and I think that include the stress hormones. The stress hormones play havoc with the old waistline. But and with all the metabolic systems, and with all your other systems. As a nutritional therapist, I was freaking out, because I'm like, I'm just putting on all this weight. I'm not eating that differently, and I'm not having loads of crap, but if this is happening, what am I going to do? And I felt completely disempowered. Didn't want to even mention the word nutrition or speak to anyone. If anyone asked me, oh, you're a nutritional therapist, I'm like, no, don't really practice it. Do you know what I mean? You know, I let my whole
of them kind of give me the once over, going, really?
Yeah, I literally spent 4 years doing something I love, and then I dropped it because I was worried what other people would think about my appearance, and I just dropped it because I was like, no, I'm not going there. And I hid away until I came out of the darkness back in November, December, and decided to go with Nourish and Flow.
Women need you, and like, I think, you know, and that is something that we're fed as well, perfection. And that's, you know, I mean, you know, look, there is a lot of that going on social media. Look at my perfect life, and, you know, it's, you're getting the highlight reel of it. Like, just imagine the women that you'd attract that would feel, I mean, like, I think as we get older, there is that kind of, look, we're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's totally, I'm fine with that, because I was literally like such a people pleaser, and kind of the fear of judgment was huge for me. You know, and I had to kind of work on that, stepping out of my business. I think I think there is that, and I think it is around the, you know, the menopause and perimenopause as well. It's just that kind of freedom of just kind of going, do you know what, this is me.
I am.
Take me or leave me. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And like, you mightn't connect with everybody, so why should everybody think, you know, you're the bee's knee? I just think of all the women that you know, if you don't do what you're doing, the disservice you're doing to them, because you'll be attracting people that don't want the, you know, you know, I'm not going to say, because there's no perfect, but you know, the kind of, you'll attract people.
The stereotypical thought of what you should be to be at a wellness event or whatever. That's gone. That's gone. It's gone in my world anyway. I'm like, come
women
come in your tracksuit. I'm like, just come with your great one.
Like, you know, the more women I meet, the more rooms I'm in with every kind of, you know, doesn't matter if they're CEO or whether they're, you know, they're a stay-at-home mom. Like, whether they're, you know, it doesn't matter what. The more I realize we're all the same. We really are all the same. Do you know what I mean? And like that's what's so amazing. And I think the more we kind of peel back all that kind of, like, we are actually all the same insecurities, all of the same worries, all of the same fears. And it's not about size, because I have worked with women that are, you know, that you would, anybody would think, oh my gosh, what if they, but it doesn't matter. It's how you feel, and it's what it's stopping you from doing, and it's what it's stopping. So it's just really important that, and that's the work that I will be doing and helping people on the day as well, is to let go. It'll be just, but it's going to be just a very gentle, there'll be no bringing up any trauma. I'm not, you know, that's not what I do. But it's just about acknowledging that got you here, but it's about letting it go and moving on. And I just think it's going to be such a beautiful, as the worthy woman you are, because you are worthy and deserving. You don't have to do anything to prove it. And I think that's a huge amount is for, and I'm going to say it because I think I can see I have 2 boys and a girl here. You know, that good girl syndrome. It's about the external validation, and you know, we were talking about this at the weekend as well, about being a good girl and what that meant. And being a good girl wasn't audacious and bold and daring, and being a good girl was kind of quiet and, you know, kind of not, you know, people pleasing and all the rest of it. And I think it's time to kind of just to kind of step out and start being ourselves.
And tell us a little bit, Sharon, then about, tell us a little bit about what you're going to cover at Nourish and Flow. Just a small bit now, just a taster.
Yeah, so I suppose the Worthy Woman is a program that I designed, I think, about a year ago, and it's really resonated with people because, you know, I say when you strip it back, a lot of it is that we don't feel worthy and deserving, or we don't, you know, this kind of, when we know enough, that's when I do, you know, do a live, or when I know enough, that's when I'll start my business. And that's why sometimes we're perpetual learning, and I'm all about learning, but it's like learn, you know, it's do it as you build as you fly. You know enough now, and then you can. I mean, I will be learning till the day I die. But it's kind of, I had to realize that I knew enough now. That other degree or that other thing or that other thing, it wasn't going to make me feel that I was enough. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't until I felt that I was enough. It was never going to. So it's kind of, you know, so there will be, that was one of the things I really kind of common denominator with the women that I worked with, was that feeling of, or when I lose weight, that's when I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of going, okay, you can, I mean, I'm not anti-weight loss at all, at all, but I'm just kind of, I'm anti-waiting.
Waiting, yeah, no, and I'll give you a prime example of that. My friend's 50th was up in Dublin there a couple of weeks ago, and headed on up and had an absolute ball. And the next day, one of the girls was organising to go down to the 40-foot and then for a sauna. And I was like, no way, no one's seeing this body in a swimsuit. There's not a chance. Because I'm in a foreign country and no one knows me. It's not happening. And then the last couple of weeks I've been listening to the Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule, and it's brilliant. I think I've listened to it twice now, and she really gives you a kick up the ass and gets you going. And in listening to that, I was just like, what are you doing? Like, you want to get into that water. You want to get into that sauna. You want to go and meet these women and have the crack, cup on. And it was literally like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I text in, is there any spots still left for the sauna? And it was like, yeah. And off I went, and I got in, and I had an absolute ball. And guess what? No one looked at me. I didn't look at anyone. I just got into the water. Had the crack, really enjoyed myself, and was so chuffed that I actually didn't delay again living my life because of a thought in my head.
Yeah,
that was
playing the waiting game is what I call it.
Yeah, literally.
It's like, I mean, I've done it. I mean, I remember I was 50 earlier on this year, and I remember for my 40th, like literally getting down to, I can't even remember what it was, but it was like 9 stone, 13 and a half, I think it was, because I'd never had been 9 stone like since I was probably 9. So I was like, oh my God, I've got down to 19, 13 and a half. And I mean, I did do it, but it went on every day, like a pound nearly went on every day afterward. But it was, you know, and this year I just kind of went, that isn't, that, again, I'm not anti-weight loss, but it was just, you know, what, I have to like my reason for it.
Yeah.
You know, and if I don't, like, if it's because I hate myself as I am, like, you'll only be as unhappy there as you are here.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You'll be only as happy here as you are there.
Because you do find when you, yeah, look even at photographs of yourself when you were older and or younger, and if you, I know for me, and I think back when at the time that photograph was taken, or when I looked at that photograph after it was taken, not at the time, but the photograph, I was like thinking back then, oh, could have lost a bit of weight. I need to lose a bit of weight, and that was like 4 stone ago.
I know, I know. And what a waste! I genuinely. I look back
Yeah.
at some of those photographs and I just go, what a waste for that poor girl.
I know. I
You could have
totally
done
could
so
have
much.
walked around in bikinis loads more when I was younger. That's what I say to my daughter. And she comes down in these outfits for electric picnic. And the mother in me is going, holy Jesus, Mary and Joseph, what? You're wearing the bloody bikini. And I'm like, listen, go for it. If I look like that, I would walk around in that. So, yeah.
Just, yeah, it's just, I say, not to play the waiting game and just to, I say, you know, when you do the work, and it's not, I hate to use the word work because it sounds like arduous. It's not. It's just, and it's sometimes it's even just kind of like, again, I went away for the weekend with my friends. Did I kind of go, oh my God, did I have the moment of kind of going, Jesus, you know, you would have looked better if you were 2 stone slimmer? Yes, I did. I'm not going to pretend I didn't.
Yeah.
But it's like before I wouldn't have maybe gone, or I would have gone kind of feeling less than. I, you know, it's not that I don't have those thoughts because, you know, we are assailed with what perfection is, or, but it's, I'm just not open to letting it ruin a weekend that was so amazing. Like, if I told my friends, they would be absolutely horrified to think that, and I'm sure they all have their own insecurities. Look, we've all got our stuff going on, but it's just, again, it's just not to wait, not to defer. And I won't say happiness because happiness is a very, but just not to defer things or until.
Now is
the time.
So you're going to be in Nourish and Flow. Your workshop is on Saturday afternoon. I can't wait. The Worthy Woman workshop, and you're going to be talking to all of our beautiful women there, and hopefully we'll all come away, which we will. I'm sure we will. Running around in swimsuits. Poor old Tignalis won't know what's going on. We'll be in hot tubs and ice baths.
Love it. Yeah, I know it is. And it's like, I'm going to take them through my sassy system. So my sassy system is something I divide. And it's about the stories we tell ourselves, and the attitude, how we can not give away our power, and how we can kind of take control of. And again, it's not about toxic positivity, but it's about having the tools that you can kind of you can catch something, kind of go, do you know what? I'm not open. I'm not available for that. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I hear it. But I'm just not. I'm choosing. So it's kind of about how, I suppose, we can empower ourselves, and then there's the standards that we have for ourselves. Because I know that's one thing. I suppose because I brought myself through this, to be honest. When I was feeling low, the standards I had for myself were low as well. So it's to kind of raise those standards of what you are willing to put up with, what you're willing to accept, what you're willing to tolerate. For your this all starts with yourself. And then about style and about your why, or even sometimes it changes into saying yes to opportunities, yes to possibilities, yes to life, and yes to get in the picture, yes to just everything, not waiting and experiencing life now, knowing that you will feel and have the wobbles and have the, you know, kind of, oh my gosh, you know. You know, people say, does my bum look big in this? I said, I don't know, I can't see it. So I'm not worried about it.
I know.
So
brilliant. So can I ask you then sorry, love. Can I ask you, well, I'm just going to ask because I'm just, you know, because I have the opportunity and you're here in front of me, so I'm going to ask. Maybe other people want to know the answer to this question too. Anyone who's faced with the wardrobe full of clothes that doesn't fit but doesn't want to try them out, I'm not, you know, I'm just asking for a friend, Sharon. Asking for a friend.
And it is, look, I've done it. I suppose, you know, there is the you know, kind of get rid of everything that doesn't fit you. Like, your wardrobe should be a reflection of what you can wear now, and it should be outfits and options now. I suppose it's about how does it make you feel when you open your wardrobe, and is it like, for me, it was quite a negative experience, and it was like, oh my God, you fat beep beep beep. You said this time last year you wouldn't be facing into another summer with these 2 stone on, and look at you, and you let yourself go, and sure, oh my God, they're hanging there now with the tags on, and you're wasted all that money, and so it was very negative. So what I kind of suggest, and it's funny because I have a Worthy Woman Academy program, we've just gone through the decluttering. And what I kind of suggest to women is, if if you are on a weight loss journey, and you get even getting them out of your wardrobe at the moment. I had a pair of jeans, I had a whole lot of jeans with tags on them that were never, ever, never, I mean, I wouldn't fit one thigh now. They were never going to fit me, even if I do lose weight. So just watch, like I was saying, style, it's a feeling. So watch what are those clothes? Is it empowering you to kind of motivate you? Or is it actually very negative, and just even getting them out of the wardrobe and into, if you don't want to let them go, because I'm not going to tell anybody you have to do something, because that's not what, the way I work. It's like, how is it making you feel? What is it saying to you? Are you finding it motivating? Are you finding it deflating? Because what happens is, you open your wardrobe, you look in, you can logically see loads of clothes, but then you've nothing to wear, and it's so frustrating. And then, as I said, the negative talk starts coming in, then you start doubting yourself, then you're asked to something, and then you've got the clothes piled high on the bed, and then you don't want to go. And it's just, I always say, it's fewer clothes, more outfits, and you deserve to look good at every size. Don't punish yourself because you're not, and it is, if you are on a weight loss journey, and sometimes women start and they do lose weight, and sometimes they kind of go, do you know what, I'm fine. I'm fine now the way I am. I've kind of made peace with who I am. So it's not, I'm not anti-weight loss. I'm anti-weight loss.
No, you're right. Yeah, don't wait to live your life, literally.
Oh, that's there is. I would definitely just kind of, how does it make you feel? And buy those few bits. You don't have loads, but buy those few bits, that you feel good in now. If you're doing Zoom calls, and that it's, or even the necklace and earrings or whatever. And it's kind of, I always talk about the power of three. And it's, having that third element, whether it's a scarf or jacket, or I kind of tend to wear earrings quite a lot as my kind of power of three. And it's just, you deserve that now. And I've kind of even elevated my style in the last year, because I was even finding, with all the tools that I had, that I was still hiding. I was kind of going, oh, is it flattering? That's actually words that I've stopped using. I don't use it anymore, because for me, flattering doesn't make me look smaller. That was sucking the joy out of getting dressed for me. And yes, I know that, and I even say in my program, it's like, I have tools, not rules. So you get to decide. It's a kind of, but when that's your only objective, is when you get ready that you look smaller. What's that saying? Yes, sometimes you want to invest in something that fits, and you look well. But it's funny, just the power of language, and what I've stopped using that word. I used to have fit, flatter, and fabulous. And I've stopped using it, because, again, language is powerful, but it mightn't, somebody else mightn't. But for me, it was a very negative thing. It was to make myself smaller.
Okay.
And I think we should all take up space.
Yay, I love it. Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Thank you, Sharon. I could ask you questions all day long, and your academy sounds amazing, because the psychological part around this journey and acceptance and all that is where we need help, because as you said, it's very easy to look in the wardrobe, get really down, and have nowhere to go and don't know where to go, and to have you there as the scaffolding to help women through this is going to be amazing. And over the weekend they'll get a snippet of what that is. And
I'm going to say all weekend. I'm so excited.
You're going to say all weekend. Oh my God, you're going to be questioned and quizzed and all sorts of things.
Bring it on. I love it.
It'll be brilliant. So if someone wants to work with you and they can't wait until Nourish and Flow to get some of action with you, where do they go to find your courses and your workshops?
So just Sharon Huggard. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and then SharonHuggard.com. And at the moment I'm doing a beautiful brand new program starting in May, and it's called Brand You. So it's all about, kind of stepping into, who you how you want to dress, how you want to, because it does impact how you show up in the world, and how you if you have a business or if you're a professional. It's all about, I suppose, and it's about the mindset, the stories. So that'll be really important, about the stories we tell ourselves. So it's going to be a beautiful program starting in May. So just reach out, get in touch, and I said there's loads of places. I'm always doing kind of free masterclasses to get a taste of how to work with me, because it's very important for me to know that, you know, because of the role I suppose I play, that it's, that you kind of get a sense that I'm the right person for you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you definitely get a taste of that, and just, I suppose, what you see is what you get. The way I am is the way I am in my programs as well.
Well, I think that it's very, very clear that you are beautiful and caring, and with all the work that you've put into your coaching and the training around that area, knowing that the mindset is where the change has to be. Yes, the body is, you know, a skin body holding some clothes, but the mindset is where the change needs to happen, and that you will bring both is just like, it's a bonus that you're going to have a new mindset and feel fabulous. So it's absolutely gorgeous.
So thank you so much for having me on this evening.
No problem. No problem.
Me into your world.
Oh no, I can't wait. I can't wait to meet you in person, which would be absolutely brilliant. So just a reminder to anyone watching, Nourish and Flow is happening from the 23rd to the 25th of August in Ballykilcavan in Strawberry County Laois. And our Tier 1 early bird tickets are on sale until the 30th of April. You can pay in full for the tickets, or we have partially payment plans in place to allow you to spread the cost of the ticket between now and when the event is happening. So there's more live streams going to be happening over the next few weeks. I just think I actually did a live stream with Karen the other night, and it was really lovely, because I got to, she said, you know all the stuff, you tell everyone what's happening. So I'll be bringing
I know. Sometimes we could be, we don't want you to be the best kept secret. I think sometimes we can be. So it's time to make sure that everybody hears about it, because it's such a beautiful experience, and there's nothing I've never seen anything like it. So
there is nothing like it, and it is truly what we're creating. Me and you and all the team that we've pulled together is an experience, an absolute gorgeous experience. And I'm most excited, I have to say, about the drumming circle, which I know some people might go, what, no drumming? But you don't have to have no experience whatsoever. But my aim is, my vision, which I'm holding so tightly on and I'm manifesting, is 200 beautiful, empowered women in the walled courtyard of Ballykilcavan drumming with this gorgeous man who is an absolutely brilliant teacher on Saturday evening. The power of that, what it instills in me is just too much. It's just going to be amazing. So
I get goosebumps.
If you can imagine the sound of one drum in a courtyard, imagine what 200 will sound like. And it's so much fun. It's going to be something really, really different and really special. So,
and what I love as well about it, and I'll let you go, is, you know, first of all, it's the caliber of, you know, of guests, and, you know, obviously including myself. But I'm just saying, you can tell a lot by, you know, your vision and who you have and the holistic. You know, it really is. But it's what I love about it as well. It's not just something that you come and you're kind of this information overload. It's such a beautiful, immersive experience, and this will stay with you for long. The way you say something's good for your soul. And that's just the feeling that I get for it. That it's just not going to be a vomit of information, because taking on information is easy for us, because we don't have to then do anything. So I always say there's information and then there's implementation. And I just think this will be such a beautiful and gentle way. But I don't think, as beautiful as the weekend is, I think it's actually only the beginning. So
I think so too, and it feels exciting to me. It's the first thing that's lit me up in years, I have to say, and it's going to be a privilege. Oh, I'm getting emotional. It's going to be a privilege. It's going to be an absolute privilege to meet all the women who gather, and the right women will gather as well. It's just going to be absolutely, amazing and so much fun. I cannot wait. So we're just getting manifesting the sunshine now, everyone. That big bright ball of light that appeared 2 days ago. Pardon?
We could be in our wellies and bikinis.
That's a new look. We could go with that. We could be like, Electric Picnic's only up the road the weekend before, so we could be the alternative Electric Picnic in our wellies and bikinis.
No string bikinis.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give the young ones a run for their money. It'll be great crack.
Watch out. That's the vision.
Sharon, it's been absolutely such a gorgeous, gorgeous pleasure to have a chat with you. Finally, we've had a nice chat, but I definitely am going to have to go and get my act together and clear out that wardrobe. I just see my sister there joining. She's a master at it, so I'm going to have to get some tips from her on getting that wardrobe, clearing it out, and buying some nice pieces that fit and make me feel fabulous.
Because
There's
you
my
deserve it and you are worthy.
Exactly. Thank you so much. It's been such a gorgeous chat, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks everyone for joining. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.